28 Years Later is the long-awaited third installment into the 28 Days Later franchise. It's written by Alex Garland and directed by Danny Boyle. The logline is as follows. A group of survivors of the rage virus live on a small island. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors. This is going to be the first 3-minute review that is over the time limit simply because there is so much to say about 28 Years Later, because it is such an odd movie. Mild spoilers for this film ahead, as it's hard to dive into what I liked and didn't like about this movie without revealing some minor plot beats and characters. I won't spoil anything big, but if you want to go into this blind, don't continue with this video. The response to this film has been extremely divisive, with many people praising it as a masterpiece, but the same amount of people saying it's terrible. And honestly, I love this discourse. I would rather a film elicit this kind of response from viewers rather than just being a boring, safe, and forgettable legacy sequel like so many are. My favorite aspect about 28 Years Later is how weird it is and how many odd choices it's taking with the story, editing, and characters. The movie always kept me on my toes and subverted my expectations, but just because it's making these bold creative choices doesn't mean they are always good or they always land. The plot in this movie was way too sporadic and unfocused for me. It truly feels like two different stories that have been smashed together into one movie. As a result, the filmmakers don't have the proper breathing room to explore the characters and arcs in either story. And this is extremely evident in the second half of the movie. There are two different side characters that are introduced in the second half that I thought were fumbled, with one more so than the other. The first one is a Swedish soldier that gets marooned on the mainland. And while I understand the inclusion of this character to explore the themes of the story and the world, he didn't really warrant his place in the narrative. Either they should have included him more, or just cut him out altogether, as where he stands right now, he's in an awkward middle ground where he bloats the runtime and distracts from the main story. And then there's Ralph Fiennes' character, who I absolutely loved. The performance was amazing, and what they did with this character pleasantly surprised me. However, the way they cap off his involvement in the story was very odd. The film just kind of drops him when they no longer need him, which was very abrupt, and I did not like it. If you've seen any reviews of this movie online, you've probably heard that the last 5 minutes are absolutely insane, and I totally agree. I understand what they were trying to do, but the tonal whiplash was too extreme for me. It was trying too hard to set up the sequel rather than properly ending the story being told, which reminded me of a bad Marvel movie. Other than these plot issues, the rest of the film is pretty solid. The acting is amazing, with our lead Alfie Williams carrying the film on his back. I also loved the technical elements. The editing was really weird and stylized, which I thought was extremely effective. I'm not sure if I would recommend this movie, as I know it will not land with many people. But for the people it does land with, I know you will absolutely love it. If you are down for an odd movie, go check this out in theaters. Otherwise, maybe wait until it hits streaming. So in conclusion, 28 Years Later is a movie I respect more than I enjoy. I love how the filmmakers took risks with the story, characters, and editing, and they didn't make it a boring, safe, run-of-the-mill legacy sequel. However, just because they made these bold creative choices doesn't mean they always landed. The narrative was too sporadic and messy. It felt like two separate movies crammed into one, with neither story getting the proper time to develop or wrap up their plot lines and arcs. I had a fun time, but I couldn't help but think the filmmakers just slightly missed the mark on so many different aspects. It could have been great, but was only just good. 3.5 stars.